Oh yeah, this week in baseball theme. You're a male over 35, you know what that is. If not, go back and watch chills every week watching This Week in Baseball before the multimedia trash took over and overexposed the whole game. So the learning of the game since has decreased and things of that nature. But hey, we'll go from there. Dave Scholl here on Telling Like It Is. First installment in 2023 of Oakland A's Weekly. Got my Cespedes jersey on today. My yellow Oakland A's hat. My A's shades. It's the newly picked up. Looking forward to the season. Before we get started, though, just like to talk about the mammoth rule changes this year. So far, I like what I see. I think the pitch clock is a great invention. Not happy with the shift. I feel like shift is strategy, whereas pitch clock is not. I don't think you should ever take away someone's strategy. Perhaps the hitters could learn how to hit better. If you would have tried that crap against George Brett back in the day, that wouldn't have worked. But hey, we're softening up the league. There's ways around it. You could put a guy in the outfield. There's all kinds of ways around it and play with two outfielders in a traditional sense and put a third outfielder on the right side. There's ways around it. The smart managers like Buck Showalter or Bobby V back in the day or Noah Weaver, Billy Martin, they'll figure their way around it. But again, the pitch clock changes everything, and the throw-over rule is even a bigger impact, which we have not noticed yet, and people haven't perfected it yet. But I've been saying to people along that pitch clock and the throw-over is going to be a wonderful thing for the running game, which I'm personally in favor of, being a former leadoff hitter and person who could run. I love the running game. I think the running game, which people usually say speed slows down the game. In some respects it does, but in some respects it doesn't. Because it feels like it's a more fun game to watch. It's not station to station baseball, waiting for the launch angle crap, which made scoring go down, by the way. So all of you think that analytics is the way to go. If it's the way to go, then it made scoring go down. So obviously it does not work because swinging with a launch angle is part of the analytics. And then the strike zone high fastball takes away your ability to swing with a launch angle. If I know you're going to have an uppercut, I'll stay in the top part of the zone and you will get nothing. You don't even have to throw hard and you can be effective, aka Mike Fiers, a little reference for the A's fans who's probably sitting at home somewhere, could still help somebody because Mike Fiers threw strikes and understood that if you're going to uppercut, I'll throw in the top of the zone and you won't get much off me. But it's going to change everything. The walking lead is back. Davey Lopes' old school walking lead is going to be back because if I take, first of all, first time I'm on base, I'm taking 2 one-way leads, the size of which you've never seen, and I'm only going back to the base. Now, it's up to the pitcher to gamble at that point. As a former lefty pitcher myself, being able to stare at the base runner, it's up to the pitcher to himself to figure out if this is an attempt to get you to use up your 2 throws over to first base, or is this an attempt for you to really steal? Well, if you lean him one way, I don't think you're stealing too well in that situation. But the league will be so big that the pitcher's going to have to think about it. Once I've thrown over twice, and the pitch clock is counting and I'm under 10, I'm taking off. Besides the fact that the rule is if I throw over a third time and don't get you, it's a balk. But at this point, the pitcher has to ask himself, is it worth it just giving him the base or just throwing over there? Or do I throw home and let him take the base and take my chances? Well, I think most people will at first throw home and take their chances. But after a while, what's the difference? If you think the guy's getting a really big lead after 2 throws, you have a big decision to make. It's like a pitch out on 2-2. Do you want to make it a full count? Well, this is even a bigger risk. This is going to just mess with pitchers. Even the pitch clock with nobody on base, I feel, is a wonderful thing. It's 15 seconds. I think some of the base runners after foul balls, we saw a problem the other day with the Met game. I don't think that's a good rule. I think after a foul ball, you should have a chance to retouch at the base and then take your lead and then have the clock start. But the pitch count thing is going to lead to some quick pitching, I think, which Frankie Montas used to be good at. Another Oakland A's reference here on Telling It Like It Is. That's why we're the best. By the way, we'd love to have all you guys join us. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple iTunes. Twitter, Facebook. We'd love some of you Facebook Oakland A's fans to join us. Reach out to me, instant message, and we'll get you on the program. We'll have some fun. Love to talk some A's baseball. I'm here in New York, so we'll have to get together with the time difference, but love to hear from the A's fans. Tough off season for the A's. Still haven't solved my one goal last year, which was the ballpark. Just let the people know what we're doing one way or the other, and so we can get used to it. And of course, we lost Captain Sal. Sal Bando's one of my first favorite players. Joe Rudy was my first favorite A when I started watching 1971. I was 4 years old. I remember watching my first A's game. So like the bright colors, and Joe Rudy was my first favorite A. Sal Bando wasn't far behind, and of course Raleigh Fingers, Reggie Jackson, Bert Campaneris. We love those guys. Obviously, they won us 3. Ray Fosse, of course, died last year during the season, so we've had a rough couple of years. We hope they're watching down on us and give us some good tidings for the A's going forward. Maybe we can get to 500 this year and surprise some people. I think we can. But the pitch clock and the no throw over rule is going to be enormously effective. I think it's as game changing as the 3-point shot is in basketball. As a basketball coach, I can tell you that shot has changed everything. It took a while for people to adjust, but people like Rick Pitino came along and totally figured out a way to do it. It also made the zone defense for a long time become irrelevant until Jim Boeheim figured out a better way to do it. But the thing is, it's such a monumental change. It's going to bring that running game back, and the games were definitely faster the other night. It was more fun to watch. Kudos to baseball for doing this. I know as a traditionalist, sometimes it's hard, but that's a good rule. I still like the ghost runner on second base. However, I don't like taking away the shift. If my opponent is too foolish to change, I should be allowed to strategize. And pitch clock is an institutional thing. It's not a strategy thing. Okay, so one we can bitch about, the other one we can't bitch about. But anyway, let's get to the A's roster this year. First of all, I wasn't happy about Garcia. I know as a cheap A's fan that we have to sit here and manipulate how much time we have with a guy, but Garcia earned that spot last year. I would rather see us put the money we gave Aguilar, nothing against him personally, into go getting a pitcher and basically let Garcia play first. But again, we have to hold on to control of players, so we sent him down. We traded away Pache the other day for a relief pitcher. Not too happy about that. Such a great outfielder. But Ruiz looks like a very solid outfielder, so we have to make tough choices, and this is going to be tough. But Acevedo, obviously, in the roster, I like picking up Familia. I thought he was good for us. Fujinami is going to be good for us. Zach Jackson, I think throws a straight ball, but it was okay the other night. Got a little wild for a second there. Jimenez, I really like. We got him back. He didn't get to pitch enough last year. A little injured. Caprillion, we got to keep healthy. Adrian Martinez, I really like. I liked him last year at the end of the season. Trevor May is a solid pickup. Sam Moll, left enough said. Kyle Muller did a great job. Olaire's got to step up for us. He was awful last year. JP Sears, we get the Yankee deal. Loved him. Waldichuk was good for us last year in spots. Can be a little bit wild. Catchers, Langoliers, we're losing something behind the plate defensively. Last couple of years, he's been very good defensively behind the plate. We got Carlos Perez, who's not a young man anymore, and we got obviously Shane Langoliers, but Shane is definitely leads. They gave a wild pitch the other night on a pass ball. There's no way that should have been a wild pitch. The ball he made it to dirt. He's not a great defensive catcher. I think that's going to come up and rear its ugly head for us. The rest of the roster, Jesus Aguilar, Nick Allen did not start at short. Almeida Diaz picking up from Tampa is a nice pickup for us. Not a young man, but can provide some stability. Tony Kemp, Ryan Noda, who's just come up basically, and Jace Peterson. So third base is going to be interesting for us. That's the position that I'm most concerned about right now, and have to see where we go from there. I'm hoping that we can get a good solution at third base. I don't know. Smith, basically has been cast out for a while. I guess he's a little banged up here. We'll go from that. Seth Brown, obviously, I'm very happy about giving him a chance. Not happy about Capel going to take bats from guys like Laureano and Pache, who we sent packing. Brent Rooker, we have to see what he does. And Ruiz, obviously, the other night played a nice game. He's 24 years old, young kid. Let's see what we get out of him. That's the roster. Good win the other night, typical Angels fashion. We come out and the Angels have two biggest stars on the planet and can't get a W. Not shocking there. But that's what the Angels do. They just don't win games. It is early, but it's a typical A's Angels game. Angels at all the pub can't get it done. And let's go to the A's schedule here. See what we have this week coming up. By the way, it's Saturday right now for this Saturday here in New York. It's basically 128. Let's look at the A's schedule going forward here. See what we have this week. Obviously, we have a couple of more games here with the Angels. And then we got to go from there, see what we get from the Angels. Then we don't have the balanced schedule this year, so I think this is a big help to the A's. It's our division, I feel like, is very competitive. We have the Angels and the Guardians come in for 3 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you'd like to get out of this week 3-3 if you could, because those are home games. Next week, we get a tough stretch right away. We go at Tampa for 3 games, which is going to be tough. And the Orioles are much improved. We will be over there for 4 games from Monday through Thursday. So the A's, I like going forward. I like to try to just stay relevant. To me, 500 keeps you relevant. I know we're a young team. I'm not counting on playoffs or anything of that nature, but I'm still very excited about this A's season. I think we should have a bright outlook. I just think we got to stay healthy, obviously, and not give away the farm. Even in progress of doing good things, sometimes we trade guys like Murph. We didn't need to get rid of him, but we got rid of Murph. I guess we did it because of Shea, but at the same time, we did get a lot back for these players. You saw Lazardo last night throw a gem versus the Mets. Just wasn't going to make it here. He was always good first 2 times around the order. After that, he was batting practice, pitched well versus the Mets. Well, here in New York, if they get off to a bad start, the fans will be jumping off the Throgs Neck Bridge. The Oakland A's, like I said, I wish we'd solve the stadium issue. You read, you don't believe what you read anymore. Sometimes they say, well, we have a chance to rebuild the stadium, which I would love. I'd love them to stay in Oakland. And again, I'm not an Oaklander. I'd like to hear what the Oakland fans have to say about that. I wish they would stay there. I like that ballpark. I know it's outdated. It's a piece of garbage and the toilets explode and every other thing, but I love the lot of foul ground. It's our home. I'd love us to stay there. I just don't want to go to Las Vegas and become like any ground ball that hits the clay just goes through at 600 miles an hour and become a joke organization like Colorado, where pitchers don't want to go. It's always been an organization about pitching and defense and home runs, and I would hate to see us get away from that. I really, like I said, A's today should be an exciting game. Let's see what we have pitching wise today in a matchup. Let's see what we have today. Pitching matchup for the Oakland A's. Yeah, let's type it in here. See what we get. Really got to keep Caprillion healthy this year. He's got the ability to do good things for us, and we have to basically find a way to keep this gentleman healthy. He has his moments, but he is a bulldog on the mound, and sometimes you wonder. He reminds me of Rod Beck in a way, except Rod Beck was a reliever, of course, but sometimes you just look at him and you go, how's he getting guys out? He's just a tough SOB, and I think that helps him a lot. Today we got Sandoval versus Fujinami actually for the A's, so this is going to be really exciting at 4 o'clock to tune in and see if we can get the next Japanese wonder on the mound. Remember some of these famous guys, Nomo back in the day, Arabu did not work out. Tanaka worked out. Red Sox had a great reliever work out for them. Basically, Dice K worked out. So, I mean, there's always been some success, and usually there's a lot of success early because they have some quirkiness. If you remember, Nomo back in 95 had a real strong hesitation in his delivery, which threw people off through a no-hitter, had some great success. So we're going to have to see how this works out. Obviously, on the other side, we got, Otani, who's just dominant, throwing 100 miles an hour the other night. Of course, Ichiro was a player in the didn't pitch, but usually these pitchers have success early. We do have to remember that the ball is a little different here. So I would like to see us, if this gentleman goes along and throws well for us, to give us maybe a 6th starter once in a while and give an extra day here or there, because that's usually what happens with the Japanese pitchers. The little difference in the size of the ball throws them off. Another subtle difference for this year. If you look, the bases are a couple of inches closer, and that's why there were 300 bases stolen in the spring training leagues as compared to 100 last year. There will be a lot more running. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. If you just use common sense, if you don't have any common sense, well, then you can debate it all you want, but nobody's going to hear you out. So the bases are 6 inches closer. So the thing is, it's going to be easier to get a stolen base, because if you do the math, that's a less of a run for a stolen base guy. It's less of a chance for the fielder to make the play, less time. Obviously, those things all add up. So Oakland A's, like I said, today, we don't have the lineup out yet today. Let's see if it's out there yet. A's lineup is not there yet, probably. Let's see what we got today. See if we have today's lineup. Well, probably not out there yet. I see Randone had an altercation with a fan the other day. That goes up at the website here. But see what the A's do today. And hopefully we can play some spirited ball and find a way to, like I said, just magic numbers 161. The Angels are in last place, so life is good. Seattle's 1-1, Houston's 1-1, Texas is 1-0. DeGrom looked great, getting lit up the other day. I know the fans in New York here are all broken up about that. So we'll see. We'll get that lineup in a little while. Probably it's about 2.5 hours for game time. I'm sure we'll eventually get that lineup. Usually it comes out on Twitter or Facebook. You can get it. But like I said, very excited about the season coming up. Hopefully you join us every week on A's Weekly. We'd love to hear from you. We'd like you to reach out and tell us what you think. It's #1 podcast of all the 150 podcast episodes I've ever done is my Bob Melvin rant after the Toronto Blue Jays meltdown 2 nights in a row with the bullpen in September of 21. So it works. We're going to sign off in the week, and hopefully it does. Thanks for listening to Ahletics Weekly. On it all.